Everybody is talking about resting and slowing down. And we think that that is the magic pill to success. But it's actually not about doing less. It's about doing more intentionally, which basically means you do land up doing less with intention. Today, I want to talk to you about how to regulate your nervous system in under 20 minutes a day. And this applies to you even if you feel like your life is super full. Your first tip is to practice things like conscious breathwork techniques. And this can also include things like body scans. Practicing breathwork is not just simply breathing for 20 minutes. There are certain techniques that will help you either upregulate or downregulate. And also the way in which you are taught to breathe needs to be addressed. And so the first thing that you would naturally start doing is learning how to breathe fully and deeply and completely so that you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system in your body and also allowing your vagus nerve to tone. This happens when you take a full diaphragmatic breath, and I've taught you how to do this in one of my previous episodes, which I'll link here for you. But the main thing is to learn how to breathe first and foremost so that you can take that technique and those learnings into your meditation practice. This is a very specific way that I've structured the Stillness Method, which is a 30-day framework where you learn how to regulate your nervous system slowly but surely over 30 days by using intentional breathwork, meditation, movement, and nidra practices, which I'll tell you more about at the end of this episode. The other thing that I really wanted to encourage you to do is to practice this breathwork and then learn how to recognize within your own body whether you need to upregulate or downregulate your nervous system. There's certain practices that will help you feel more energized, and there are certain practices that will help you to calm down. And if you are a high performer and a high achiever, you will know that there are times in your day where you need to just chill, where you need to calm down and stop the monkey mind, the racing mind, and come into a place where you are really focused and really centered so that you can deliver your best work. And then, of course, there are other times of the day where you are feeling flat and lethargic and like you have no energy, and you need something super quick, super sharp, super effective that will help you raise your energy and your vibration so that you can create from that place. So ultimately, what you want to learn to do is how to match your practice to your energy. And this would require for you to learn how to self-reflect, to figure out what it is that you're feeling, to notice how you're feeling, and then apply the relevant practices to whatever it is that you're feeling so that you can help yourself. This is really what we mean when we say self-help, when we use breathwork and meditation to really help us move from one state to the next. Breathwork practices that will help balance and calm and bring you into a state of harmony are things like your diaphragmatic breathing, nadi shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathwork, or simple practices like vilomas, which are interrupted breaths on the inhale and on the exhale as well. Perhaps you're looking for something a little bit more energizing. You might want to take a breathwork practice on the walk with you. So you might want to get out into the sunshine on your lunch break and energize the body through meditation, but walking meditation. And there are specific techniques that you can employ when you're on your walking meditation that will make this meditation just as efficient, if not better, than when you're sat in a seated practice. So you may be thinking, what if I don't know how to identify what mood I'm in, what my energy is telling me? And what if I prefer to follow a set structure? Well, I got you. Set yourself up with a 30-day meditation practice schedule and just follow along with it. My main suggestion would be that you do it at the same time every day, which will set into motion some sort of ritualistic pattern where you will recognize that it's that time of day and then you will go ahead and just do it. So the most important thing is that whether you're doing it in the morning, whether you're doing it on a break, whether you're doing it as you're commuting to work or just before you jump into bed, that you practice consistently at the same time every day. And that if you skip a day, don't stress too much about it. Just jump straight back in the next day. A lot of the times what I see is that we skip a day and then we get really disheartened about the fact that we've skipped a day. And in actual fact, it doesn't really matter whether you skip a day or not. The intention is always going to be to continue with your 30-day sprint or your 60-day or your 365-day sprint. There are going to be days where things just don't go according to plan and you may miss a day, and that's totally fine. Just jump straight back in the next day. Tip number 2 is we want to give the mind something to focus on. So now that you've learned how to do breath work and you've harnessed the power of your life force and you've learned how to work with it and to create specific practices that will help you to either upregulate or downregulate your nervous system, we're going to learn how to meditate. Now, the reason I normally give breath work before meditation is because I love to return to the anchor of the breath. Now, it doesn't matter whether you do breath anchoring, mind anchoring. You could use things like a mantra, which is a phrase that you recite over and over and over again in your mind. You might wish to practice a meditation breathwork practice where you focus on the breath as it enters and exits the nose. You might wish to anchor your practice in your seat, meaning you bring your attention straight back down to your butt, where you're sitting, the tension between your body and the floor beneath it. All of these are beautiful anchors that will really help to give your mind something to do. And here's the thing is that when you learn how to harness your breath, that will take you out of sticky situations where you feel anxious or when you're in high pressure environments where you can't really catch your breath. Learning breathwork practices will really help bring you straight back to center. Learning meditation practices will help you to focus, so that when you're out in the world and you are having a conversation with someone and they're staring at you, instead of you thinking about what you're going to say back to them, you are really present with them and you are focused. And only when they're finished talking do you respond. And this will help you in so many ways. This is not only about your seated practices and what they do for you when you're on your own in the middle of the morning, taking a couple of moments for yourself. This is really about how you relate with others. And people will always remember how you make them feel, not necessarily what you're saying. If you are sitting there thinking about what you're going to respond to the other person, I can guarantee you the person is sitting across from you wondering why you're not listening. And you will develop such strong relationships if you stay present and you stay focused on what that person is saying. And of course, this also applies to the projects that you're doing. How many times do you become distracted in a day? How many times does your mind wander off when you're trying to do something? Are you someone who can read a full report without getting distracted or without your mind wandering somewhere? Meditation can help you with this because it teaches you how to come back to the present moment again and again and again. Every time your mind wanders off, you just gently tiptoe it back to the present moment. And this in itself is the practice. Every time you have caught yourself thinking about something else other than what you're doing in that moment, you've won. If it was a game, you'd won. So the idea with meditation is that you train in an environment that's super controlled so that when you're out in the world, you've gained that practice and that you know exactly what you're doing and you can continue to bring yourself back to the present moment. So my only suggestion here would be that you pick a practice and you stick with it. So if you've chosen a mantra meditation, if you've chosen to bring your attention to your nostrils and notice the breath as it moves in and out, if you have chosen to bring your attention into the seat of your meditation practice, or maybe even counting the breaths, don't chop and change from day to day. That is your practice. Stick with it. Do it for at least 30, 40, 50, 60 days, just to see how that develops within you. Because we love to complicate things, us humans. We love to just take something and then make it really complicated. And what I really want for you to do here is make it super simple. Simple does not mean easy. Simple means that you stick to one consistent practice day in and day out, and then you notice how you evolve from there. So regardless of how long you choose to sit, make sure that you practice that one practice daily at the same time, preferably each day. Tip number 3, move, stretch, practice yoga asana. We hold a lot of tension in the body. We hunch our shoulders, we get text neck, we sleep funny, we're seated most of the day, or we're carrying kids or driving our cars, and the body can hold a lot of tension. I really want you to start moving your body, whether it's a gentle walk, a rigorous practice, a restorative yoga or yin practice. It doesn't matter what you do. My suggestion is just to do it. You want to move. Now, I suggest yin yoga for a number of reasons. The people that I work with mostly are high achievers, high performers. They have been pushing boundaries since they were 3 years old. And so they know what it feels like to sweat and to move their body. But what they really need to learn is how to be in stillness while still moving the body. Yin yoga is such a beautiful practice for this because it allows you to form a pose, find a shape where you hold that shape for a considerable amount of time. That hold helps to open up the body in ways that other practices don't necessarily touch on. So when we practice yin, we actually open up the connective tissue and the fascia, the ligaments, the joints, and these parts of the body are usually quite controlled during are yang practices because we are using our muscles, and yin yoga really targets everything but the muscles. So you ultimately do it when you're quite cool, when you're cold. You don't necessarily need to warm up for it. Just lie down and you practice these practices. These poses are mainly done on the ground, and they're just so rejuvenating for the body. They really do help open the body up in ways that other practices don't really do. If the only thing you ever want to do in a yin yoga practice is lie in shavasana or in child's pose, you are so welcome to do that, because the main goal of any yoga practice, for me anyway, is to show up. And if I have shown up on my mat, I have done the job. And quite often what I'll find is, as the practice progresses, I will be encouraged to participate. And that is where the magic lies. Tip number 4 is to manage your mind. There's going to be every single excuse in the book that will present itself to you when it is time to sit down and meditate, to practice your breath work, to move your body. The mind will play tricks on you and make you believe that you don't have time to sit down and to practice. It will tell you that the 20 minutes you have reserved for that practice is best spent doing something else. And my friend, I can guarantee you, hand on heart, there's never been a meditation practice, a movement practice that I have gotten up from and not been deeply grateful for, because it helps to re-establish a baseline, and it will help you to actually be more efficient, more productive, and just better all round after your practice. As part of all of your breathwork and meditation practicing, it's vital that you manage your mind. It's vital that you get very clear on the reasons why you trick yourself into thinking you don't have time or that it's not important. And there's so many different beliefs that we hold, whether they be cultural, societal, familial, or just things that we've picked up along the way, beliefs that stop us from creating the lives that we truly want, that stop us from finding harmony and balance within the mind, the body, the psyche, the soma. And when you learn how to control your mind, you will put yourself in positions where you will accelerate your learning and just get further along with whatever it is that you're looking to achieve, whether it's harmony within your relationships, whether it's looking to climb the corporate ladder or get better at doing business within your own industry. I highly recommend that you learn how to manage your mind. I said that I would mention something about the Stillness Method, which is a 30-day program that I have put together. Initially, I had it along 8 weeks, but what I've noticed is that 30 days of these practices really does help. And so I've shortened it to 30 days worth of practices. But here's the thing, is that we do weekly coaching on all of the mindset stuff. So all the practices are included in the 30 days. And then each week you will get a recording in your podcast app, because everything is done by audio. So easy. You could just press play and off you go. And I address all the different things that are holding you back. So you have a form that you can fill in. You ask the questions that you need. And every week I will come to the podcast with a brand new episode that will help you manage your mind in whatever way it is that you feel it's been holding you back. I cannot wait to invite you into the Stillness Method. All the details are in the show notes below. And if you've got any questions, as always, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram, or you can comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. The other thing is that there are a bunch of yin practices on my channel. There are a bunch of breathwork practices and meditation practices. If the Stillness Method isn't right for you right now, please feel free to enjoy these practices. Set yourself up with your own calendar. Make sure that you take all the tips that I've mentioned today and apply them, practicing every day at a consistent time and making sure that you manage your mind so that you actually sit down and practice. And I can guarantee you that your results will be outstanding. All right, my friends, until next time, bye for now.